Some amazing news for Cardano, something I've been waiting for a very long time. Stablecoins actually coming. This is massive news for ADA. So I'm going to go over this and exactly what it means. USDA, a stablecoin on Cardano, and in Cardano fashion, the stablecoin will be regulated, fully backed. It's really good news. And there's a bunch of other news for Cardano as well, because they've been going through the Edinburgh Summit with lots of new announcements. So we'll get to everything throughout this video. Timestamps down in the description as well if you want to skip ahead to a certain section. We'll come to USDA first though. This is absolutely brilliant news, something that I've been asking for a long time. I know you guys have probably got very bored of me saying Cardano needs stable coins. You know, I was looking for maybe US dollar tether and US dollar coin to be put on Cardano first. This for me is even better news actually, and it really highlights what Cardano is actually trying to do right now as an ecosystem. And this is especially relevant with FTX and what they've done. You know, we don't need to use centralized anything anymore. And this is one of the ways that Cardano is going to help its users do this. Our goal is for anyone through Anzens to be able to tokenize their dollars and move them as a Cardano native asset. A user can get an account set up with us. This is Anzens official. Deposit USD via a wire, ACH, or credit debit card, and then USDA, the token, will be issued on the wallet of their choosing. Now, this means you have to have an account, obviously, with Cardano and a wallet set up. Plus, also, you will need to have an account with Anzens and KYC there. So if you're dealing with fiat currency, you need with Anzens to have an account, a KYC'd account with them. And obviously, the bank that you use to send in dollars will have to be KYC'd with the same details, right? So everything matches up. So but what's important is that as soon as you put US dollars into this account, they will issue that stable coin on the Cardano blockchain, meaning as soon as you send money in, you have this decentralized coin, and your money isn't with a centralized custodian at any point, which is obviously the whole point of what Cardano is building. These plans include lending and borrowing services, crypto-based card payments, it's really important, and bridges between trad markets and decentralized applications. So you can see the infrastructure that Cardano are trying to build. If you are part of the Cardano ecosystem, you can get dollars in and out. You can lend them out on an over-collateralized basis and earn some yield there, especially if there are yield opportunities in emerging markets, which often pay much higher interest rates. But there are obviously ways to, you know, lend some money out there if you choose or not. Use decentralized applications to trade in and out of Bitcoin and ETH on the Cardano blockchain, tokenized versions of those. Just like on ETH, you have wrapped Bitcoin. That's what Cardano will have as well. They'll have wrapped Bitcoin on Cardano ecosystem, and crypto-based card payments, very important as well. So just imagine having your US dollars on a blockchain, self-sovereign, and then being able to pay with those dollars at merchants that accept cards, right? Very, very important and a really great use case, actually making this stuff very usable. You can see here long-term plans to enable conversion and swaps of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, ETH, and other cryptocurrencies. So just useful, right? The move comes months after Emergo told CoinDesk on the sidelines of Singapore's Token 2049 conference that it would invest some $200 million in the Cardano ecosystem in the coming months to increase network participation. It's really important for me as well. And I've said this in the private groups as well as part of the crypto course. Link below if you want to find out, you know, with what those groups are and all of the videos there. But we need more people to actually be using Cardano to support the price of it. And this is important. So what I want to see is this 200 million going towards providing liquidity on DEXs and making Cardano a much better and more robust ecosystem for many other traders. Here's how the USDA will work right here. And it's very similar to others in the system as well. So there's nothing kind of new here, but it's good for Cardano. So this is how it works. You have USD in a bank account like this. And what you do is you send those over to an account. Now this will be a KYC and AML account set up, right? So you do need to do KYC at this custodian, just like all the others. So Paxos do exactly the same thing. Anyone can sign up for an account with Paxos. And what happens is you can link up your bank account, send fiat currency into Paxos, and they will issue USDP, which is their stablecoin. I think it's USDP. It's a 1-for-1 backed stablecoin, totally regulated in New York. Anyone can do that. So if you want an on and off ramp, that's Paxos is one example of that. Now, most people don't do that because they just use their centralized exchange directly and do that. Now, actually, Binance do this as well. Binance use Paxos for their BUSD. BUSD is just a rebadged version of Paxos dollars, and they can use that on and off. But you can have an on and off ramp through Paxos, but now you can have this on and off ramp through Ansons right onto the Cardano blockchain. So you don't even need to use a centralized exchange to get dollars on and off. Or trade. Now, this is still new for Cardano. It's not even launched yet. And you need Bitcoin, you need Ethereum on Cardano as well as wrapped versions, because that's what most people want to trade. But it's good to have that on and off ramp right here with a KYC account that's regulated. They will then give you USDA, and you can trade that exactly how you want or invest it. Now, Circle do exactly the same thing with USDC, although for the most part, I think Circle are just institutional these days. They don't actually allow individual accounts unless you maybe have a certain amount, like a few $1 million. But Paxos actually do this for everyone. So it's just a good solution that lets people go on and off with a fiat on ramp and having a one-for-one backed stablecoin directly through to the Cardano blockchain. Now, with so much in the news about FTX, this is the reason why Cardano is building a decentralized infrastructure, right? So you can have dollars on and off TradFi and crypto. You can exchange your dollars for other assets if you want, or you can spend these dollars through other methods as well without a centralized custodian, because the only time you use this is through the on and off ramp. So they're not holding anything for you. You can just get the off ramp from crypto straight into this, straight into your bank account. If you want that, you don't have to if you don't want to. So you're just taking away centralized custodians all the time. And you're taking away their ability to defraud you, which is allegedly what's happened to FTX, right? So this is the use case for crypto, and it's great news. If you want to know more about actually using crypto and using, taking self-sovereignty of your money, the Crypto Investor course has all of these videos, including how to use wallets, how to maintain your assets across DeFi to actually earn some yield, and setting up an investment portfolio right here. I'd really recommend it. A lot of people find use in this. We have private groups as well. Link in the description if you want to check that out. But I want to come on to how DJED fits into all of this as well. DJED is a different type of stablecoin on Cardano, and it's very similar to MakerDAO on Ethereum. It's not exactly the same, but I'll explain it here. So DJED, in my opinion, will always be a very niche use case. Most people, which is why I'm excited about this, want to use a dollar-backed stablecoin. $1 in the bank backing $1 of stablecoin, and nothing can get in the way. DJED is a little bit different. DJED is a crypto-backed stablecoin, meaning that for every dollar of DJED, you have $4 of ADA. So it's an over-collateralized stablecoin because of ADA being so volatile. It has to be, collateralized by a lot more dollars than you're actually getting. Now, this creates a little bit of, security in DJED's valuation, but this is always going to be extremely niche as a use case, mainly because you need so much value locked up, $4 for only $1 of DJED. And so not everyone is going to want this. I would also recommend a dollar-backed stablecoin, a one-for-one dollar-backed stablecoin, not anything like this, but it has some use cases across the ecosystem as infrastructure, very much like DAI does. DAI is crypto-backed, crypto collateral-backed. You can actually see what backs DAI. Ironically, though, most of the backing of DAI is actually USDC, which is completely censorable. You also have ETH, GUSD, which is Gemini US dollar, and some other coins in here backing the collateral for $1 of DAI. So there is a use case for these crypto-backed stablecoins, but it is much, much smaller than a one-for-one dollar backed. And so, I don't think too many people are going to use DJED, just like not too many people use DAI. You have Tether, USDC, and BUSD up there, and you can see DAI is actually number 12. It's going to be a similar story for Cardano, where I believe that the USDA is going to be much higher in circulation than DJED, which is the kind of, Cardano version of DAI. There's a use case here, but it's definitely not going to be as big as the one-for-one backed stablecoin. Now, there was another major announcement by Cardano, which is a new sidechain called Midnight, which is going to be a privacy-focused sidechain. So you have to think of Cardano and the base layer, the layer one, really as just a root of trust for the currency that is Cardano, and everything feeds into that. And so Cardano with proof of stake makes sure that the root of all the transactions is as trustworthy as possible, that base layer blockchain. The way that Cardano scales is by having many different chains off to the side and off above that offer different types of solutions for different businesses. Scaling solutions like Hydra, good for some use cases but not others. Side chains like this one, which is going to be called Midnight. Now Midnight is essentially a privacy blockchain. So it's actually a side chain, so a new, kind of new side chain to Cardano. So it's not kind of a token on here. A lot of people have been describing this a little bit like Monero or Zcash. It's not really like those. It's actually more like something from Polygon, which is called Nightfall, which I'll get onto. So Midnight, Nightfall, you can obviously see that these are basically going to be the same thing. A privacy-focused roll-up for enterprises for Polygon. And Cardano are working on this, which is very similar. So it's going to be a separate blockchain that will use ZK snarks or ZK rollup technology to preserve privacy of information, but also give some information that's needed. So just imagine if you are a regulated financial institution and you need to go through KYC and AML in order to accept people to use your product. Let's say you have an exchange and you're a US-based exchange, and the government says you're not allowed to have anyone from outside of the mainland US or the US territories to trade on the exchange, right? For whatever reason. Well, how do you do that in today's world? Well, you have to get their passport or their ID, their address, or their bank details, right? And so you know everything about them. You know their age, their date of birth, and everything. With ZK technology, what the promise is that someone can have all of their details online and prove to you that they are something that they say they are without actually revealing all of their information, right? So if you ask them a question, are you a US citizen? The ZK technology can say yes, but they don't have to reveal their name, their date of birth, where they live, their address, and everything like that, right? So this type of technology preserves the privacy of individuals whilst giving regulated entities the information that they need to comply with regulations. That's what this technology does, and it's really important to expand the use case of blockchains to the actual world, which needs to be regulated and compliant. So I think this is what Midnight is trying to do. As you can see here, Midnight, which is underpinned by zero knowledge proof technology, is one of the many side chains now being deployed around Cardano and will go beyond previous privacy coin projects by delivering zero knowledge proof smart contracts. So rather than just being a privacy coin, which of course do already exist, like with Monero and Zcash, it's really a solution for businesses to be able to build on top of this technology and for individuals to preserve the personal information that isn't actually necessary. This is a lot like, in my opinion, Polygon Nightfall. So it's not like we're having a unique use case right here that no one else has. There are other versions of this being worked on in other ecosystems as well. Polygon in the Ethereum ecosystem. Polygon has all of these solutions, but of course Cardano needs them too. And so this is Cardano's version of this ZK technology that preserves some privacy for users. It's really obvious at this point what Cardano is doing, just building a complete suite of products that people can use to invest or hold their assets in a self-sovereign way, no centralized custodian. That's the whole point of a blockchain, and that's what Cardano is building out right now, and they're taking great steps. Now we just need more people trading on Cardano, more liquidity on the system, and just more assets on here, especially with wrapped Bitcoin as well. You need that on the system because that's what most people want to trade. So it is happening slowly and they're going in the right direction. If you want to know more about Cardano, we have a Discord group in the private members area of Discord that goes through all of my research on Cardano, and everyone that's invested there sharing all of their thoughts as well. It's really important, and I think good for a lot of people. Plus, all of the different sections here to actually confidently take control of your assets and wealth in a decentralized way. It's all there. Check that out via the link down below. I'm James with MoneyZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.